The flight control operating cranks, levers and rods under the cockpit floor. The fuel tank for number 2 engine now installed. Will we or won't we start work on the engines? I think the decision is not just yet. This is an engine firewall that provides protection between the engine and the wing, and an engine oil tank painted and pressure tested. Adjusting the brake shoes. The cable-operated brakes are typical of the system used in cars in the 30s, but unlike the car brakes, these can provide differential braking to allow the aircraft to be turned when taxiing. The differential braking is provided by a system of cables, pulleys and levers. The availability of a full set of manufacturer's drawings was of great benefit to the restoration team. A new cable is being made up here. Con and Dermot are about to swage a new turnbuckle adjustment fitting onto the end of the cable. We are back to the engine, and the decision now is that it's time to take off the plastic covers, strip the engines and check for general condition and wear. One engine installed, and now cylinder heads and cylinders are removed for inspection. three happy men from left Dermot Goldsberry, Jim Price and Larry Mohan. Probably the reason they're so happy is that at last they're involved in the engine work. Dermot here checking out pistons in one of the cylinders, and Larry here in deep concentration, now installing the number one cylinder and attaching the cylinder head. It's now many years since spark plugs and magnetos were last used in Aer Lingus. This pressure chamber was manufactured locally so that the magnetos and spark plugs could be checked under engine operating pressures. Engines and propellers now fitted, and the backlighting here gives the aircraft a ghostly appearance. Carrying out final checks before the aircraft is taken out for initial ground run. There are a number of milestones to be reached along the road to a fully airworthy aircraft, such as the first time the engines are started, the first time the aircraft moves under its own power for a taxi test, and of course the first flight test. Today we hope to reach one milestone with the engines being started for the first time. Some final work being carried out here on the number 2 engine fuel system. Here we get a good bird's eye view of the aircraft, minus its outer wings. If there's one thing most people can do without, it's loud noise. But today, our team are now hoping for noise, and when they hear it, it'll be sweet music to the readers. I know exactly how Johnny feels at this time. Swinging the propeller for engine starting can be very tiring work. We are now back in the hangar after engine runs, and in case you're wondering, the ropes on the propellers are there as a safety precaution. If somebody turned the propeller and the ignition switches were on, the engine could start, resulting in serious injury. Connecting up an aileron control rod, carrying out an operational check on the ailerons. The wings on the DH-84 can be folded back parallel to the fuselage, and when they're brought forward into the flight position, they are locked at the forward end by spring-loaded sliding bolts. Here is the locking bolt for the lower wing. And this is the locking bolt for the upper wing. Now you can always say truthfully that you've seen a one-person conference room. Captain J.J. Sullivan in the cockpit is discussing possible locations for the radio set that will be used when the aircraft becomes flight operational. Captain Sullivan was very much involved in gaining company approval for the restoration project, and he made a major contribution to its success. He liaised closely at all times with the project leader on flight operations matters.
I mean, I can cut this out down further.
Yeah, I know. Okay, that's in there, but we can take that off.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. It would be kind of neat. Oh no, you don't need much on that.
Must be cut this out.
That's exactly what the coincidence. Like that. So if we had a hole in that.
Tail ends of that sheet of road. Probably bits of scratch we have to back it up.
Yeah.
There's 2 inches at the worst bottom
Put
of
it in
that.
there, and then pull the whole thing back.
This very neat radio set is definitely not 1930s vintage.
No.
Report at 1520 hours Prestwick, winds 050 degrees at 17 knots, visibility 10 kilometers.
We reach milestone number 2 as the aircraft, for the first time in many years, moves under its own power to start taxi and test. As we watch the aircraft turning smoothly to left and right, we know that a good job has been done in setting up the differential braking system. We will now see number 2 engine having its takeoff power checked. This is John O'Connor, the person who carried out most of the aircraft painting. The big day has arrived. Milestone number 3 is reached, and the aircraft is taken out for its first test flight. You will gather from the number of cameras round that many people are anxious to record today's happenings. Captain J.J. Sullivan on camera number 1. I hope that's not a weekend bag that J.J. is putting on board. Captain Paul van Ronhausen here and Captain Roger Kennedy will in future carry out some of the flying duties on the Iolar.
Okay, you can shoot away. Just shoot on that.
Yeah.
Do you notice the confidence with which Johnny signs the certificate of fitness for flight? He signs the certificate twice, once to certify the airframe and once to certify the engine.
Really dangerous and all the time as well. Do the just take on the certificate. If we're not leaving the certificate, they're okay without something.
Yeah. No, we won't be leaving. We'll just have a look at just do wide circuits and just have a flying hands off.
Yeah. I think they're ready to go. I think they're going at
5:30 said we have a time.
5 now.
Yeah.
Kevin Warner, 4745.
definitely a case of those magnificent men in their flying machine.
Another milestone anyway. Yes.
There are many happy and contented people around, as in the fading daylight, the aircraft is brought into the hangar after a very successful flight.
How long are they up for? Oh, I'd say about
After every flight, it's important that the date, takeoff and landing times, flight duration and the serviceability status of the aircraft is entered in the technical log. You might have noticed that in the defects section of the log, Captain Sullivan has entered nil, and this will please all who have worked on the aircraft. Final touch-up painting is being carried out here by John O'Connor prior to the press day. Today is the photo opportunity day for the press, and the helicopter is for air-to-air photographs and video of the Iolar over Dublin and the Wicklow Mountains.